What is happening, guys? It is Friday the 3rd. I'm back in my saddle instead of saddled all over the damn place, right? I was in Mexico in the jungle. I was in Utah at my corporate office, had an opportunity to be the keynote speaker in Mexico, also speaker in Utah for the exact same subject. Basically, it's all about getting your ass kicked. You got to take an ass whooping to be able to learn where you're screwing up and where you need to get better so you can become better, so you can become successful. Success is based on how big a beating you're willing to take and can take. Right. So I was also training people on how to plan the beating you want to take. Got a book right now I'm cooking up with Robert Allen. Should come out hopefully in the next few months. And it gives you all that philosophy from Aaron Chapman. So if you want to get philosophy from my redneck ass, it's coming. It's going to come in a pretty really interesting package. So I won't spoil it at this point. So last video I put out there referencing, the Hindu cow situation, right? I got me a cool email from one of my, what is now one of my friends, who's a client of ours. One, complimented me, said, keep up the good work. Then secondly, said, your video could be considered somewhat offensive. He's a proud American resident and has Hindu beliefs. Now, I responded back to him and thought, damn it, that's a ballsy son of a bitch. That guy has got balls at clank to shoot me that email, and he did it in such a good way, right? Complimented me, keeping up the good work. He watches the videos, but said, I'm not sure about what you said there. It could go wrong for some people. So I called him, and I thanked him for being a friend and having the balls to reach out to me. And then not only that, but when the phone rang, he picked up, said, hey, Aaron. He knew it was calling. He knew it was me. He knew he sent the email. He knew I was calling possibly about that email. He picked it up anyway. That right there is a badass. I tip my hat to you, man, because that was cool. That's the way you handle that kind of thing. If you feel like it was offensive, reach out to them, talk to them. There's not, people are people. People say stupid shit. We do it all the time. Look at the guy who's supposed to be in charge of our country. Stupid shit rolls out of that dumb son of a bitch's mouth every damn day, right? But well, let's just say we all have an opportunity for that. Now, I had the really cool thing of this whole conversation when I was on the phone with him. I'd mentioned, I'd heard that phrase before somewhere in a movie or something, and it just went from my mind right out of my mouth. It didn't seem offensive to me, but it could be to somebody, and I get that. It makes sense. I get where one could come from that perspective. And, he sent me an email back reminding me where it came from. It came from Fight Club. There's Tyler Durden's character in Fight Club that was, well, Brad Pitt's character, Tyler Durden. If you haven't seen Fight Club, it's a hell of a movie. So one, you're a badass, brother, for reaching out to me. You're a hell of a friend. I appreciate you approaching it the way you did. That's a lesson for everybody to approach things the same way when something doesn't it doesn't land with you right? And then be a friend of that person, help him out. That was awesome. Now I love this guy. Then also he's a Fight Club fan, which is awesome. So I thought that was really, really awesome, Sendesh. Appreciate you, man. So let's get into the market stuff. Interesting stuff going on right now. We had one hell of a run in the market this week. Things were looking really, really, really good. But what do we got going on now? We've got the BLS jobs report that comes out today showing stupid amounts of jobs being created. The actual Bureau of Labor Statistics report is showing that we had 517,000 new jobs versus an estimate of 185,000 jobs, meaning huge, huge employment. I'm only hearing people getting laid off. I have no idea where the hell this is coming from. Then you do the household survey. That's where the unemployment numbers come from and you're looking at 894,000 jobs. But then you dig into it and you start finding out 606,000 of those are part-time. So that's some bullshit right there as far as I'm concerned. Then you go look at the ADP report, which is where the payroll comes from, right? They're showing only 106,000. That's a massive gap. Huge, huge, huge gap. So what is that? 700 and some odd thousand job gap? What's the deal here? Well, listening to some guys, some gurus. Actually, I had Barry Habib on here a long time ago, about 3 years ago, probably. It was during COVID. And watching what he has to say. They did some digger deep into what the Bureau of Labor Statistics comes up with when they run their numbers, and they created this new category in their methodology is creating jobs, and it has to do with the population control effect. I don't know what the hell that means. But it's calculated, but they say if the change is calculated by subtracting the population control effect from the overall month change as the published seasonally adjusted estimates in the job report. So what does that equal? Well, they're saying it's 894,000 new jobs, but the population control effect adjustment they did on paper, this is all freaking algorithm bullshit. This is not real jobs. 810,000. So that's 184,000. That should be 184,000 jobs, but they're saying 894,000 to 810,000 job swing. So look at the complete bullshit in the math. They're completely jerking us off. As always, they're jerking us off when it comes to inflation. They're jerking us off now when it comes to jobs report. And I don't know what you guys think, but it sucks. So let's see what effect that had on our markets, what it had on our on the bonds here, because it did have an effect on the bonds, and it wasn't an effect that we really appreciated much. So I got to get my charts up. I was too busy spouting off. Here we go. Here's my charts. And let's take a look here and see, because I've been saying over and over again to everybody, lock. You get something, lock. Well, there's some people who didn't lock this week. Unfortunately, you're going to get punched right in the utensil here with the pricing that's coming, because we got hit pretty hard. Look, we are in really good shape in the last 48 hours. We got right to the top of the 200-day moving average. We held that position above the 200-day moving average. It looked like really strong, but look, we kept hitting this level here. This has been some of the strongest resistance we have seen in a very long time. We got above it, but it came right down below. When it got below it, it dropped, and we're now below all the resistance out there that was supporting us here. And it's happening on bullshit numbers. It's happening on this so-called updated methodology of this population control effect for 2023. It's just complete crap that we're dealing with, but it's manipulating the markets. Now, look, we're getting hit, and we're getting hit hard, and that volatility has put some real pressure on the interest rates. So if you didn't do as I kept saying, get a hold of Scotty. We're going to see how this affects it, but just know, ain't us. Interest rates are being moved by manipulation. We've got people out there pushing bullshit on us. So today's lessons, right? Have the balls, like my boy did. Reach out to people. Do it right. Don't do this crap in the background, making comments, underhanded, whatever, and try and hurt that person without going to their face. He came to my face. That's a badass. And we're getting jerked off out there in the numbers. So don't listen to fools out there. They're trying to tell you how things are going to be. They don't know how things are going to be. If they're trying to tell you, especially you got a guy with no experience, there's a lot of idiots out there, 1 year, 2 year experience, trying to jump into the investor world as a lender or somebody else. Don't listen to those guys. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about. I know somebody personally trying to go off of the experience of other people on his team. It's not on his damn team. It's just somebody who processes loans for the last 20 years. You can't add that to your experience. You don't know shit. Now you're trying to tell people what to do. And this kind of market with this kind of manipulation going on, you better find somebody that's got a long time doing this. I've been doing real estate investment loans since 2003. I've been through the cycles. I've been in this since 1997. We don't know what the outcome is going to be. And if somebody's trying to tell you what they believe it is, and they ain't got a background in doing real estate investment loans themselves and investing for decades, walk away from that son of a bitch. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back at you at Tuesday.